Entering opening balances into Enston Ledger. Hello everyone, welcome to a new tutorial on how to enter opening balances into Enston Ledger. All you need to follow along with me is a web browser and an Enston Ledger account. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to enter opening balances into Enston Ledger, including trade debtor and trade creditor records brought forward from previous years. Let's briefly discuss what opening balance means before diving into the demonstration. Opening balances refer to the closing balances of your accounts brought forward from the previous accounting system to Enston Ledger. Please note that you would need to enter all balances, asset, liability and equity as positive numbers, except for the following: accumulated amortization, accumulated depreciation, assets with negative balances, for example bank overdraft, liabilities with negative balances, for example overpaid loan amount, equities with negative balances, for example accumulated losses. In other words, you should not enter liability account balances as negative numbers, unless such liability accounts truly have negative balances. Likewise, do not enter equity account balances as negative numbers, unless such equity accounts truly have negative balances. During the process of entering opening balances, if you do not see a suitable account in the predefined list, you can always go to the Accounts page, where you can create a new account before returning to the opening balance page. That said, let us dive right into the demonstration. To start posting opening balances in Enston Ledger, navigate to the page by clicking the Opening Balance menu under Setup. As you can see, the Opening Balance page presents three subtopics of a typical balance sheet, namely assets, liabilities, and equity. When entering opening balances, kindly keep in mind that assets must equal equity plus liabilities. Enston Ledger will highlight this issue with a red warning message, unbalanced, in the top right corner if this equation of assets equal equity plus liability is off. To illustrate, let us use the closing balances of ABC Private Limited for the year ended 31st December 2020, which is generated from another accounting system. Naturally, these closing balances become the opening balances in Enston Ledger. As a first step, we have to enter the closing balances of trade debtors and trade creditors. To do that, we need to click on the Import button, which is located next to Trade Debtor line item, which will enable us to enter individual trade debtor records from the previous financial year. You can see here that Enston Ledger redirects you to the Import page, where you can enter individual sale invoices. Suppose for the purposes of this demonstration, this listing refers to the trade debtors list from the previous financial year. Let us enter these entries to Enston Ledger accordingly. Once this is done, simply go back to the opening balance page to enter trade creditors records. As we did above with trade debtors, we will do the same here by clicking on the Import button located next to trade creditors to input individual trade creditor records. Once this is done, let us go back to the opening balance page again. Thereafter, you can key in the rest of the items in Assets, Liabilities and Equities sections. Once you are done with keying in the entries, click on the Save button. This is all you need to do to enter opening balances to Enston Ledger. As always, please ensure that the data you key into the system is correctly presented in the appropriate reports. You can do this by visiting the balance sheet and verifying that the figures you entered for assets, liabilities and equity are correct as of the beginning of the financial year. Naturally, there's lots more to learn, but this should give you a good foundation. Feel free to check out the other tutorials. Thanks for watching.